Uh-oh. Oh, hey. There we go. Oh. Hold on. I have a basket of clothes over there, and I'm always making fun of people who do selfies that have, like, piles of laundry behind them. Let me move my chair. It's very awkward. I apologize, and it's very uncomfortable for me. Okay. Hey there. So this topic hits rather close to home. I'm going to do my best to get through it because I think it's rather telling that in 2018, 2019, when I started talking about this, nobody knew what it was. People thought I was crazy. So yeah. And now it's coming out that somebody like Travis Scott and Michelle Namey, who allegedly is some person high up in the hierarchy of theirs, did some ritual called some type of soul exchange or destiny exchange. Yeah, sometimes it's called soul swapping, sometimes it's called soul scalping, sometimes people refer to it as someone being like an organic portal and these walk-ins occurring. So it's referred to in a variety of different ways. What I'm going to do is, so you can quit staring at my laundry over there. I folded everybody else's, and mine is last, of course. So please forgive me. I didn't even know it was going to be seen. Okay, so let's get grooving. First, we're going to do a quick search. Hold on, I'm going to have to take these off because I don't need them right now. And I'm not really used to ring lights. So I'm going to search it real quick. Yeah, I'm not used to ring lights, so if I get rid of that, I apologize, but it's a little irritating for me. Travis Scott. Allegedly, I saw something when I did a search with TikTok, him saying that he was trying to connect with the spirits of people who had passed over during Astroworld. But I want you to take a look at this picture, and I want to show you something that not a lot of people, well, I don't think anyone else Christian-wise has pointed out, like, what this is, like, what's going on here. And it's dark. So let me give you a couple disclaimers. Number one, not everything you see and read in the media, not everything you hear in the media, not everything you hear from other people is true. Because sadly, as one of my favorite channels, the Y channel says, because he's so wholesome and I love me some Hecklefish. I got to get a t-shirt with that little guy on it. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Now I forgot. Fiddlesticks. Let me pull this up before I do that again, because I did pray before I was trying to do this, but I want to open the image and I want to show y'all. Let me make sure we're okay over here. Okay, cool. Now I'm pulling up this image and I'm going to share it with you. And this is where we're going to start. Because again, when I was talking about these things years ago, nobody knew anything about it. And the only person who, what happened was, and again, disclaimers, this is going to be rather dark. It might be triggering for some people. It is a little triggering for me. So when I have these bumps of the tongue, please forgive me. There's a lot of trauma attached to it for me, and I'm still living in this situation. So I think I'm actually doing really well, considering some of the things that I've seen and things that have been done to me. And so, anyways, a lot of YouTubers have missed some of these things, and they're rather dark. But in a nutshell, in 2018-19, when my family had changed so abruptly, I started looking for answers as to why. Now, I could understand when I came back from Florida, it was made to look like, and it had been a fact that my devices had been gone through, and I had been doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and I've confessed all of my sins very publicly. And I'm extremely repented at this point. I'm chaste, and yeah, that's another reason I don't eat animals. Is not, I mean, it's for the compassion, but the side effect is what it does for you inside. It doesn't make you think of those carnal things all of the time. So I started looking for answers when I came back from Florida as to why my family had changed so much. And I'm a mother, and I do their laundry, and I kiss them goodnight, and I held their bodies inside of mine for 9 months. I know my children, and I knew the man that was presented to me that I lived with. Um, Obviously, he had another side, but I knew him, um, his habits, his daily habits and practices, and what he ate, didn't eat, that type of thing. And so I started looking for answers, and the only place I found any answers, because I actually typed in like soul swapping, because I was thinking back to that Eddie Murphy movie, Golden Child. They don't make it look as dark in Hinduism. It's very consensual in that realm. Um, and, if it's consensual, that is an entirely different, what do I say there? It's an entirely different system. And it really is. And I know Christians are going to hear that and they're going to disagree with me, but we'll talk about that someday, and about wineskins and new wineskins and whatnot. But we're not going to talk about that right now. So I started looking for answers, and the only one who was talking about this was Sherry Shriner, and she has some testimony that is really far out. And that's what I dislike about some of this is, that's why I don't really touch on reptilians. I've never seen them. Are reptilians real? They want us to think they are. Do they scare me? Not really. I can see there's different beings here, though, with different, abilities and bloodlines. That's pretty apparent at this time. Things are being exposed. Dark things are coming to light, and I feel that's very cathartic. And Scripture tells us to do this for that reason. This is why you're supposed to confess to unburden yourself. So the cross that you're carrying isn't as heavy. So she was the only one that was really talking about it, and she had some really far out there things. And you see how her story ended, and again, she told that young man that woman was a witch. They always tell you first. I don't trust Sherry Shriner because of her last name, Shriner, right there. Like, you might as well, your middle name might as well be Mason at that point. You know, it's just true. So Michelle Lemmy and Travis Scott, we're going to look at them, and you're going to look at this picture with me real quick. Hey, thank you. Everybody left. That's not cool, but you'll have that. I like to open up, and I like to warn people. These topics that I cover are dark, but sometimes you need to know what's out there so that you don't accidentally, because here's the thing with these rituals that these people do. You can participate and act as a battery. You can act as, like, they use your energy, your life energy, your essence, your soul energy to propel a spell. They will do that. That's why it was so dark in here. My bad. I'm like, why is it so dark? And I know this for a fact, and I just come across a link that talks about that aspect. So we're going to look at that. Now, this picture is not as bad, okay? There he is with her, and they are chilling and starting this ritual. And the problem with this is he's very vulnerable. If you look at, I'm going to bring up a picture now that's very telling. But again, there's a lot of people that didn't look at it and what it's really showing here. And so I'm going to bring this up now. There we go. So here's another one where the actual ritual is taking place. Now, again, I would not mess with this woman. Her, Ivana, I don't know her name. I would not mess with them. They're in their own domain. I don't want anything to do with that type of darkness. I would, again, even the dark ancient little g gods, they're not in our domain. They're not in our realm. We shouldn't be messing with them. So what everybody missed about this, and it's disturbing that everybody missed this, but dude doesn't look like his spirit. It looks like he is astral traveling at this moment. Whatever happened to him at this point, he is not present in that vessel, in his physical body. Now you're going to say, how do you know this? Like, you don't know this. You have no right to say this, or, something of that nature. Well, that's how I know I'm a human being with a spirit and a soul, because I can look at somebody else and say, there's something going on there. Like, that's not good. That's not a good situation, right? And so if you look at him in this picture, I'm going to close a window just so things don't lag behind too much. Now, if you look at this picture, okay, for whatever reason, he's bluish. That's one thing. The other thing is, this is a very stiff angle. And I've seen a Dateline where something had taken place and they were doing a reenactment, and somebody had ended somebody else, and the homicide had taken place in a bathroom that looked a lot like this. And this is how the body was laid out. Now, dude is obviously naked or something, but what is the pillow actually covering? Now, people might think, well, it's his nakedness it's covering. Is it? When these people do these things, and people like Travis Scott, right? And they agree to do it because they want that fame. His vessel is empty right now. She could be doing any type of thing, any other ritual she wants while he is absent from his body, and something else could take over. This is why astral travel is not a good idea, because something else could try to come in your vessel. If you're not sealed, right? You got to have the seal of God, or any spirit will just jump in there. And you are, at that point, what they call an organic portal. Now, again, whether or not you accept to, receive this information as truth or not, the point is refining our discernment and understanding, yes, that Google will all the time about who they are. If they're going to lie every day about who and what they are, do you really think that they're going to tell the truth about anything big that matters? No. This is why you can't trust the screen either. But we are being shown things here that most people, people are missing. This young man is no longer present. Sorry, a bird just flew. This young man is no longer present in his vessel. And again, I don't know how else to convey that to you. You don't have to believe me, but just look at him. He's not there. The angle, the way his body's being held, the pillow, the way his eyes are open, and even the color, like I said, there's like a hint of blue. And I don't mean because he's a man of color. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from, as a former healthcare worker, like, he does not look in a good state here. Okay? But nobody talked about that. What is going on here then? What is actually taking place? Well, what are they going to try and put into his vessel? And that's when you would look at him after this date and say, okay, is he different now? Because what if that was the deal? Okay, you had fame and fortune now. Somebody else wants to use that. They want to use you for some agenda, or they just want to have a good time in your vessel, in your body, pretend to be you, and get carried away and do whatever they do. Now, we're going to look at a couple other things. And remember, there is some truth in movies and in video games as well. So I'm going to pull up a couple of things. I saw this on I did a search and it came up. It's a Twitter post. I don't have Twitter. Big surprise. But I want to show you this real quick. Make sure it's shared for anyone that might watch the video after, a little later. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is somebody named Elizabeth Regal. This was viewed 3,000 times. This was posted in 2023. And I don't know what she's replying to or anything like that because I can't get in to see it. But I just want you to know that there's a lot being revealed in this time. And people are talking about it. And if you have any types of abilities, or if you are just a child of God, they already know your destiny. We're going to talk about that a little bit once we get through some of this information. And it's not a lot of information. We're going to look at a bit here and a bit there. But again, you need to be prepared that this is a darker topic. But you need to understand that, like the concerts, right? Travis was utilizing all of those people as a living battery to bring something to this side, and something was exchanged for those lives, those poor souls who passed there. Something else came into this realm. That was the exchange. Do you understand? Do you get it now? We need to, like, they need to give you meat. They need to feed you meat. These bigger channels that have the bigger platforms, they're showing you the symbolism. They're telling you it's wicked, but that's all they're doing, and they're corrupting your eyes. They're not giving you the meat of it. They're not telling you all these other people who are they're participating in it. They're participants. All the people at the Taylor Swift concerts who have this amnesia. You can get people into a trance by frequency, by music, especially if their guard is down. They're not expecting anything like that, especially if they have no spiritual awareness. Don't allow yourself in this time to be utilized unknowingly. I told you how they speak to you, and they'll give you certain keywords. If things start not making sense with someone, or their behavior changes, or they make sure they say the same word or show you something with the same word 3 times in one day, there's something to that. And again, I'm not trying to be weird or evasive. This is how it works. They will use you, just like in the Matrix, as a battery for these rituals, and you won't even know it. And that's what they're doing at these big concerts, at these big venues and games where people pass away. That's what's happening. Okay? So all the people that passed away at that concert, something else came over here. And I hope those people that passed were saved. I would doubt it, though, considering, again, it's some type of exchange. Okay, so this woman says, yes, this is what they call soul scalping. When your soul is, I assume, is swapped in exchange for a demonic soul. High degree initiates in the ancient mystery wisdom schools perform this in dangerous, higher degrees rituals to pursue their will to fame, success, etc. This is the reason I feel many celebrities go insane. That's true. And their personality splits and erratic behaviors take over. It's literally selling your soul scalping. It can be conducted in astral travel, dreams, dark occult rituals, and deep hypnosis. And that's a problem too, is the deep hypnosis, these abductions. That's what's, they are hypnotizing you, putting you into a twilight state when you're already unconscious. And people want to meet these things. That is not a benevolent being that is coming into your room without being invited, or being invited under sly circumstances, right? And that's how you know it's somebody you know. Usually it's someone close to you. And this is why people always remember like some type of sensual thing taking place, and they cover your memory with this alien crap, and they cover that with the owl thing, right? So there's all these layers, and you don't even know that you have. It's like Rosemary's Baby. And again, there's truth in these movies. There's a reason I bring them up, is because pop culture can be a common thread where we can meet and try to build some understanding. So she's saying, yeah, this is a thing. It literally sells your soul. It can be conducted in astral travel, dreams, dark occult rituals, again, that you don't even know you're a part of, and deep hypnosis. So what if somebody like goes to a psychiatrist to get hypnosis to stop smoking? right? Everyone says, oh, you should try it, you should try it, you should try it, you should do this. Meditation, when you totally empty your mind, or you have the wrong guide, you use guided meditation, and they take you into that alpha state, well, you're there the rest of the day then. Who's going to get you back out of that state? We got to start being aware and wise to these things. If you're going to listen to music, let it be classical, instrumental. And I know that sounds lame to people, right? I still listen to some secular music, but I'm pretty careful. It has to be like something peppy or something, that kind of, or something attached to a memory of my parents, something like that. So yeah, she's saying that high level initiates do this. So I'm gonna go over to something else that I put up. And it's hard to read with that ring light, but I know it's easier for you guys to like see and all that, so it looks better. There's nobody here. Oh, there's 3 people. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna share this page. This one has some ads, and it's always that way with sites like this that are free, basically. A lot of this, and people aren't going to believe this, and most people never believe this. Oh, no, 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 don't do this to me. Please don't be funky with me. You guys still there? Are we still live? Somebody give me a thumbs up if you're still here, because I got a connection interrupted thing. I should grab my phone. Then I got to turn it on and all that jazz. Anyways, should I just keep going? Oh, let me check. Okay, sorry. I just want to check. Nobody comments, so I never know what's going on, and I don't know why people don't comment more. I wish you guys did comment more. Have some fellowship. All right, let's make sure. La la la. I'm gonna give myself a couple hearts. There we go. Cool. All right. Sorry about that. So this is occult rituals. Now, I didn't believe this. My husband looked into all this stuff first, and he would ask me questions like, "Do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? Do you believe in clones? Do you know their ears are different?" Da, da, da. Like for years, and it started in 2012. And I remember because we lived over here, and it was right before my dad died, so it probably started maybe about 2010. Anyways, he went down all these roads first, but I think he went the left-handed path, and I'm going the right-handed path. This is why you should not be unequally yoked. But I think it was arranged that we met, so it wouldn't have mattered. A lot of this stems from, for our children anyway, they get indoctrinated, and it starts with Dungeons and Dragons. That's how they learn hierarchy. As to where I learned hierarchy in like the Catholic Church and like basic family, right? Mom, dad, child. Um, is the same in nature. It's the same in the heavenlies, right? You've got the Father, and you've got the Son, you've got the Holy Spirit, which I happen to think, why does it always take a funny picture? Come on. The video is almost over. Give me like 2 more minutes. Are you kidding me? There we go. All right, did it work? Did it work? Is this new? It did, yay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. If you're watching, there probably wasn't much of a break if you're watching after the fact. Whoever you are, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry about that. Some of these links, when you open them, they're not the best to open, but I guess we're kind of doing a part of this in reverse. Hold on. All right. I wanted you guys to see a search real quick and the information that populates from that search. And I also have another link that I wanted to show you, but nothing was like working. Oh, the weather looks okay, but it's pretty windy already. I don't know what's going on. All right. So let's check this out. I'm going to share this tab with you if it'll let me. Please work. Thank you. Do that. And there. Bada bing. It'll work? You guys see it? Whoop, there it is. We did it. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so soul scalping, and you can also put here. I got some interesting results when I went deeper with AI on my phone, and I rarely do that. I hate doing it, honestly. The amount of water it uses, and water is life, and only living beings need water. It just makes me wonder, again, the way that they hint at things. It's like, okay, what actually is AI? Okay, so I wanted you guys to see what was out there. Let's remove the word ritual. And then we'll do an AI deep dive because I got some interesting results regarding Hinduism and Buddhism, like I was talking about earlier. Now, guys, I want to. Soul retrieval ceremony, a sacred process of calling those lost pieces back home. No, your soul doesn't. No. You ask God to fix you. I feel like those are all deceptions just to get you to open yourself up to malarkey and garbage. Okay, let's see what this AI said. On my phone, it was pretty detailed. Again, I apologize. This is an old wooden chair and I'm sticking to it. I got shorts on. Soul swapping or scalping. Definition. This refers to the ability to swap the souls or minds of two individuals, causing them to inhabit each other's bodies. Movies like Face Off or The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, and they actually use the Hindu bowl. The bowl holds the consciousness of the monk who has passed, and then I forget how they do it, but they call the little boy's spirit out of his body to put the old man in the little boy's body. This is my problem with all of this is consent and children. What is happening here? What does that mean for my children, and where are my children at then? And again, you don't have to believe me, but it is also prophesied in the Hopi prophecies that in the end days there will be beings walking the earth who were never meant to be born. Like they and yeah. So anyways, methods. Soul swapping can be accomplished through various means, including projection, spells, or potions. In fictional contexts like the show Charmed, a specific soul swapping spell requires the power of 3 and 7 different colored candles. Interesting. Folkloric and New Age interpretations, the idea of soul swapping can be seen in ancient shamanic superstitions, where the scalp lock was sometimes associated with a person's identity or soul. In New Age beliefs, it relates to the concept of walk-in souls, aka they walk into an organic portal or an NPC, right? Somebody's personality changes abruptly for a little while, changes back, that type of thing. The Catholic Church would call that possession, maybe, but I don't know because again, usually it's brief. Those things aren't very long unless you get into complicated situations. It says in New Age beliefs, it relates to the concept of walk-in souls, where a soul chooses to enter a body already inhabited by another soul, usually by agreement. Now, here's where we run into the problem is the agreement. You know how, and we've talked about this before with I Am Joan, because that's kind of my story, and it's on Netflix. And they really pushed me to like watch Netflix and subscribe to it, and it was weird back when all this first started. Anyways, again, it's triggering for me sometimes to go back to that place. I apologize. So by agreement, there's the problem we run into is these beings are desperate. They are extremely jealous. You are seeing women who have been abused, women who are having health issues because these individuals, these beings, despise the female, hate the woman, especially Eve, but especially Mother Mary, who was kind of the redemption for Eve because she brought Christ into the world. Remember, enmity between, all right, the woman and the serpent. Always. They will always hate women. I don't know why some of them fell and fornicated with us. Again, I think that was so they could build an army. It had nothing to do with love. People think it did. There's a reason they do the fairy tales and they shove it down our throats at young ages and show us, watch Hello Darling and Walking Chaos if you're a female. Both of them. And both of them are true stories in their way. Both of them are. Okay. So agreement, we all click on those little user terms and agreements without even reading them or batting an eyelash. But what if it said, you agree to give your first child and you never read it? You never read it. And something happens, God forbid. I'm using, someone comes and, well, we're going to orphan train your child and adopt it out because you said we could and you're not a good parent. Whatever. Right? Best case scenario. They can gain your agreement passively, and sometimes it works depending on how asleep the person is and how strong their energy is. They can get you to, for example, mine one day were trying to get me to answer questions, and I couldn't. Why are they asking me these dumb things? And then I realized they were trying to get me to just say the word yes. And so I was like, no, stop with your games, go away and leave me alone. And when I say go away, they go away, usually, now at this point. Back then, they were very physical and physically abusive and harming me. But now I'm prayed up and they don't come near me unless I'm unconscious. There are still times that I wonder about that, but I'm doing the best that I can in that arena. Okay. So they can gain your agreement without you being consciously aware of it. You just won't know. Okay. So you need to be very careful about who you have around you. And if somebody's talking in a strange way that you're not understanding, there's a reason for that. They don't want you to understand. They just want your agreement. Okay. There's a lot of this happening right now because they want the vessels, they want the bodies. Satan is coming to collect now on a lot of these agreements with these celebrities because they want those individuals and they want to drive certain agendas and they want those vessels and those bodies and that life inhabited by a demon that he can control, or a spirit, whatever sometimes it's a spirit, sometimes it's a demon. I don't know exactly. I just know it's no longer that person who should be there. It is musical chairs of the souls. And again, God gave me a word on this years ago, and it's on the first channel. I talk about this every now and again, and now I'm talking about it because of the Travis Scott incident. I want you to understand that concert was a ritual, but they needed to give you the meat and potatoes of that. Everyone that was there participated and acted as a battery to help bring something over to this side. And the exchange was those poor souls who passed. And wake up and quit watching Christian people who just want to corrupt your eyes without actually giving you the meat and potatoes of why you avoid this and how you avoid this, how you don't participate. Remove your consent. And I knew that was the key years ago when I said something like, I refuse to participate. I typed it in a chat somewhere and somebody was like, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's like that kid at work. How will you live if you don't have money? I was like, it'll be hard, but I mean, food grows on trees, kid. It's not, it'll be all right. It's okay. It's just sad. Okay, definition, selling something like we know what scalping is. Okay, so I want to remove the one word. We're going to do soul swapping ritual. What? Scalping ritual. Alright, here we go. No. Ew. Says conspiracy theory. Oh, wow. The term soul scalping appears in contexts related to conspiracy theories, suggesting accusations of elites participating in rituals involving child, you know what, and the harvesting of their fluid, of that thing they use as a drug. It's right here. I didn't know it was attached to that now. Again, this is why I revisit topics, because when I first was looking for this, the only one that I saw talking about it was Sherry Shriner. It's important to note these claims are generally unfounded and lack credible evidence. I've had it. Yeah. Okay. We're going to click on all. And I do searches live, so you can see my work, my research, how I go about doing these things. One day again. One day ago. That's funny. That's Tumblr. Okay, so I'm going to bring you over here, if it'll let me. Oh, you're with me? Good. It usually works pretty good when I don't have a bunch of things open. Oh, wow. Okay, so the alchemy, this is Tumblr, and I don't dwell here. I know nothing about it. Alchemy of Souls, how soul swapping works. This is just a quick post on how soul shifting works. I think a lot of people misunderstood how it works, leading them to form very flawed theories down the line. It's probably a good idea to review this post before you perpetually go down the Nascu Jinbu Yun. Okay, so this, I don't know what that means. I think that has to do with anime. And again, I've told you, like, our children and the Luciferians, there is this thick connection with anime. And I don't know why. Like, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because it's Japanese. I don't know. But they've been awfully quiet lately. The concept of soul swapping and shifting at its core is very simple. You cast the alchemy of soul spell, and your soul goes into another person's body. Then, when you want to return, you perform the alchemy of soul spell again. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it would be that easy. And it's not that easy. It must be done in this show. Oh, gosh. Sorry. That's funny. All right, so we're going to come here. Now, I pulled this one up only because I want you to see there's a variety of different ways in which either your energy can be harvested or you can get caught up in something like this. Unawares. Did it? Okay, are we good? Yeah. I just pulled in, sister. I love Sherry Shriner. Miss her. Listening and driving. Oh, yeah, well, I worry about that last name of hers, the Shriner bit. Because, you know, Shriners, secret organization, Luciferians. Yeah, that bit bothers me about her story. But she gave a lot of truth, or seeming truth at the very least. Okay, soul binding. It's a rare tradition originating with the Temple of Continuance in the Kingdom of Hazar. What is this? Adonia. Where's Idonia? Where's Adonia? Temple of Continuance. What is the Temple of Continuance? No, let's read this first. Although the participants are living individuals, living. See, I told you. I told you. I believe that they do this fake reincarnation thing, and I call it fake because it's not the way that they tell us it is. It's not birth to death to life. It's while you're still, like I said, while you're still alive. Anyways, it is widely regarded as a necromantic ritual due to the process involving the grafting of pieces of souls onto one another. In its simplest terms, the ritual is an exchange, two individuals willingly and intentionally slicing off a small sliver of the soul and trading those parts with each other, filling in the space left behind. The end result is an inimitable I'd say intimate connection that leaves both participants no longer fully themselves, but still whole, possessing a part of each other's souls, connected in mind, magic, and body. Um, this is just some other thing that is out there that they believe in and that they practice. Uh, this has a lot to do with things like covens, I would imagine, especially when there's just three participants or something like that. Um, this is how you get the hive mind concept. Okay. So again, right. And rituals usually you have to build up to for several months before you actually go through with it or whatever. And my family, like they did all this first. Like my son stopped eating animals. He really didn't like eating them ever. Um, I had started like that, but it was like everybody yelled at me all the time for not eating my meat, so I just got used to doing it. Um, so cleaning yourself out is a good thing for you, but again, don't let yourself be hijacked, right? And as you clean yourself out, it helps you to be in tune with what's going on around you better. Like when you fast and when you deny yourself physical luxuries or even just basic comforts, like I sleep on the floor. I've slept on the floor for years. You can go back in my videos, I talk about it. Uh, not for any glory. I do it to keep myself low to the ground and humble so that I don't get taken away by like any type of vanity again or anything like that. So this is something else that I just wanted you to be aware was out there. Now we're going to talk more about soul swapping, but I want to get I'm going to get some full information and we're going to look at one thing, but I have to go down that road first because I don't want to show you anything that's going to damage you. At the same time, I want you to be aware of how this, and I think what it's going to be is we're going to have to look at chaos magic because that's what they're doing now. But we're not going to look at it like how to practice it. We're going to have to look at how to protect ourselves from it. And I hope that you guys understand that. And it's not any desire to like be dark or have the channel explode because everybody talks about these. No, I think that there are things that they're not telling you. I think that they are trying to indoctrinate everybody. I think that they're still trying to do this mass initiation with everybody. That's what it was with the masks and all this stuff. And everyone that's not going along, uh, we get punished as much as possible by the system because they're not allowed to end us unless the most high God gives that, he's in charge of that. Um, to a point, right? To a point. I don't want to give anything away regarding death. Every time I talk about that, they thump my channel badly or they start following me everywhere. Um, but death is an illusion. If you didn't know, it's not real. And if this is Satan's little kingdom, um, then there's a lot of people walking around here that you should probably open your eyes and see who they are because you probably have people around you that you're not expecting to see but are there, and maybe they're just wearing glasses or a baseball cap or they have different color hair. I've experienced a lot of strange phenomenon, and this is why I know it's not just technological. And I also know, even all right, let's say it is a group of people, let's say it is the whole town against me. And again, that does sound ridiculous. I know it's not the whole town, but it is a spiritual drive. No matter what friend I make, no matter where I go, this thing is following me and it is staying close because it doesn't want me doing whatever it is that God wants me to be doing. And I got to figure out if that's taking off to a certain destination I have in mind or if that's just sitting here and filling in the gap and being a rock, standing firm in faith and not allowing anybody to move me. And you got to figure out what your destiny is too. And I don't want anybody hijacking your energy or any new spiritual giftings that you're receiving, your abilities. I don't like to call them that. It makes it sound like you're a superhero, which we should never, you know. It's about God's love for us and God's desire to have a family. That's all it is. And all of these things that we're suffering now are going to seem so small because they really will make you a better person in the end. I promise. That's what happens. It's just hard getting through the muck and yuck. I love you guys. I'm going to end this video now. Thank you so much for being here and giving me a chance to try and share my testimony to save maybe you the trouble from falling into the ditch with me. And again, a lot of this is happening. That's what they're doing in the media. That is chaos magic. When you see the same numbers, the same colors, and the same symbols over and over again, chaos magic. Pray against that garbage, because that is exactly what it is garbage. They have, and I'm going to say something that I probably shouldn't say, but they don't even have enough finesse in class to do proper casting, that they got to use something dirty and messy like chaos magic. Anybody can do that. Any group of yokels can do that, which is why they have them doing it, because they're on the bottom of the pyramid. You're going to be with us soon, sooner than you think. You're going to fall off, man. The bottom of the pyramid doesn't last. You're the new bottom. We were the bottom. Now we're not even a thought. You're the new bottom. And that's just the way it goes. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Have a great day. Pray against the garbage. All right. You pray against chaos magic. You plead the blood of Christ over it and your area and your home and your family. You loose it from you. You cover it with the fire of the Holy Spirit. And then you cast it out far from you and your family and your home and your town, if that be the Father's will. In Jesus' name, amen. Do that. That's how you get rid of stuff. Loose, bind, cast. Same thing as spell casting, only it's gods. They hijack everything. That's why the Bible sounds like spells. Okay? It came first, though. Everything is God's. Words have power. Make yours have power. But use the right words and choose them wisely. All right, I'm going to run. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to try and look for a mobile home somewhere, rent to own, because I can afford that. But it's going to have to be a town where I can immediately get a job. And I've been working on my credit score. So just to throw it out there, if anyone is in like a small town or near a small town that needs people who like waitress or tend to older people or, things like that, I am in the market to like relocate with my dog, of course. And I am more than ready to work a job and be up away from and out from under all this oppression. But I need a little help like anyone else. I need what's the word I'm looking for? I need a little order in my life. I need a little guidance, right? I need a place to go. I need a job to go to. All right. I love you guys. Have a great day.